excluded from the document. Simple as that.
By underlining this document, the four corners have now got another four corners within. So everything out of that document, out of that box now, is null and void.
I can't see this. Can you? That's how they operate. Capital letters in with small text. Immediately we're taught our first letter of our calling or our name is to be uppercased. No man can tax another. That says "oh man" to me. This is water law. Laws of the sea, maritime admiralty, uppercase text dogma. We're taught to mix it in with the lowercase. That's putting water on the land. Every time we write, we are flooding ourselves, unbeknownst. We're mixing the jurisdiction of the law, land and water. No man can tax another for fine nor forfeiture. No man can license another for fine nor forfeiture. Simple as that. As a man or a woman, I can't tax you and I can't license you. If you wish to go fish that river down there with your rod to feed yourself and your good lady, who am I to stop you? License not required. You're a hungry man. Any affidavit unrebutted becomes law, your law. He who holds the law is the law. We are set laws within our settlement. If you haven't committed a crime, you hold the law. Any civil infraction can be rebutted, dispelled or repelled back to them very easily. When evoking the maxims of equity, which is equality, again in brackets, that is now taken that away from the document. That can't be seen when you send that in anything like that. So if you put on there my property, and then in brackets the name John, they don't know who you're talking about. I myself would put a photo or something of evidential fact. I refer you to notice A. There it is. You can't rebut it. Equity is equality. All agreements or contracts must be fair, just, right and proper. A contract is something which has a legal obligation. A contract is one step further than an agreement. An agreement is a new word for the old style of pact. Man used to make a pact. Now they've turned that to an agreement. It's a legal word. We used to have a convention together. We make a convention within a room full of people. We all know what we're doing. But because the legal realm seen what was what there's money to make, they put an obligation. Every contract can carry an obligation. Now you tell me if I'm obliged or not. Am I obliged to any legal realm?
No.
I'm obliged to my fellow brethren. I have no obligation to no legal corporation, dead entity. If I have, show me the proof. Bring forth. Otherwise, bugger off, you can't afford me. If any fraud has been committed against you, all agreements are null and void and can be discharged immediately. Discharged, dispelled, repelled. All these things. You have to, if you make these claims, he who makes a claim has a burden of proof and must provide the remedy. So if you're making these claims, you must be able to prove yourself and know what your remedy is. It's no good going, oh, I don't know. What can I do? I don't know. Or what tell you? Oh, I don't know. We've got to be exact. You've got to know what we've lost. To the penny. Or to the dime. It's not a dime or a penny more. That which is just, right and proper. Otherwise you're a piss taker. And you'll be dealt with them cards. The jurisdictions of law. We spoke about that here. Water, land. There's no more jurisdictions. Land, air, water, that's it. Of which we have dominion over all. They're all ours for the taking. Until Mr. Del Monte or Nestle said no. I don't recognise those corporate figures, I say yes. Universal law, self-evident truths. Facts, the matter of fact. We have the facts, we have the truths, we can produce the evidence. Stand on it, understand it, stand over them. We stand over all of them. They are transgressed. The laws of physics, magnetism. Not very good spelling, but I can see what it says. Electromagnetism. Magnetism. You have all magnetised to me today, this week. You've travelled far and wide. manifestations have outwardly attracted. That which I want to be right and proper in the world is coming to me. My substance is over the form, I put my action over the words. You know? And that which I pray every night and ask for of this realm is slowly but surely coming true. And that's the laws of nature right there, natural to me, which has also been bastardised by the Roman law. The covenant between man and our undying Creator. Is it important to you? Why is it undying? Because the family always lives on. The individual may pass over, the family lives on. We are all created in the image, therefore we are undying gods. Because whoever precedes us and comes before and after us, all in the same image, lives on forever, eternal life. As long as you cause no harm or injury or loss to anyone or anything, not even a blade of grass. A blade of grass broken, you have trespassed against me. Put it right. You are free to go about your day any way you wish, to conduct your business as you see fit, and travel freely from point A to point B unhindered, upon the King's highway, unlicensed, if you're not in commerce. Status, standing, capacity. If you haven't strained that out with your locals, you're not going to be able to do that. You're still a person or a citizen or an occupant. Common law. What is common law?
Law of the land.
Law of the land. Magna Carta. Is the Magna Carta into this day? Is it legal or is it lawful?
It's all been changed.
Does it do anything? Are you a baron?
They celebrate it, but it doesn't exist.
It's for the barons. Are you one of them? I'm not. It doesn't apply to me. Common law. It's legislative. It's acts and statutes. It's public at law level. If you suffered a wrong in the public, you're in common law. Someone suffers me a wrong, I will bring you to court. And if I can't get the wrong righted, well then I'll bring in the other jurisdiction of law, the equitable and trust maxims. Equity abhors forfeiture. Equity shall not suffer a wrong in the at law level. So you always have a redress or a remedy or a maintenance and cure, depending on what you are seeking. Seek and ye shall find. Law of the land, the general public. We're all generals in the public. I didn't make it up. You're bizarre, isn't it? We don't even know. We're king of the domain, general in the public, and shit on every day of the week. Statutes and obligations. I've talked about the obligations. The obligation is a legal construct. You have no obligation to these individuals. They are representing bricks and mortar, a building that can't talk, you know? So them in their private capacity have a duty to us. They are honour bound by the Creator in our image. And if they suffer you a tort or a wrong through their corporation which they represent, we can deal with them in equity, in the correct jurisdiction for man. Honour bound, clean hands, clean heart. What are you doing to me? You're trespassing against me. Do you feel right? Hitler's men, what were they doing? Maritime admiralty law. Acts and statutes only apply with the consent of the governed. It's a beautiful man who's written it wrong. Acts and statutes have the full force of law with consent of the governed. They're the words. I don't consent, and I'm not governed. I don't vote. I'm not a state ward. None of those things. The full force of law shall be given and granted, should you seek or require it. But you have to be in the correct capacity, and so do they. So about status, standing, capacity. The law of the sea lanes, the corporate vessels. We have lanes on the road. We have land ships. My lorry, which I drive every day, is a land ship. We have the traffic lights, the signals, signallers, stop, start. Who maintains them? Siemens. You can't make it up, can you? We have to look. I'll cry. I'll cry. I'll tell her. Anyway, the corporate world or the realm, the legislative force of law, acts upon the corporate dead entity person.
So the force of law, or what we would call the imposition, they're imposing themselves upon us. Every person shall pay every duty and liability imposed upon a person. To trespass against you, we're to forgive those that trespass against us, but we can't do that if you're dead. So if you trespass against me, brother, I may well forgive you. However, if your company does, I'm going to take you to the cleaners. That's how we operate here. Don't take it personal. Business is business. Okay? Canon law is missed out the ecclesiasticals or the ecclesiastes. That's even spoke of in the KJV. It tells you what it means. The ecclesiastes are higher than the canon law. You know? We used to think they're the big guns. Ooh, they're scary. You scared? Fear. For each a role. Church laws and codes. Unified commercial codes. It all started as it's going to end with a code. It's all encoded. The book's coded. Acts and statutes are coded. Subsection 3(4)b says this: a person shall not. I'm not a person, and if I have broken one of your rules, I shall go and put it right. All the Acts and statutes contain the word shall. It's always forward tense, it's not now. So if I have broken a rule of yours, if I've drove that car without an insurance or a licence, I shall go and get one. Thank you for notifying me. I'm very busy. Know your swords. I know mine well. Very important. Your words are your swords, they cut to the bone. Once I wish and require of you, you better bloody perform, boy. That's what you're salaried for, isn't it? Now then. Common meanings versus the legalese. Our language versus their language. Our babble versus the legalese. A person. What is a person in the dictionary? Can anybody give me an accurate?
Corporation.
No.
Do the legal
A mask.
Persona.
It's a mask, a persona, an actor. So if you wish to enact that role, okay, the person or the persona, what they're asking us to do is come in personam. Has he wrote that here? Personam, it has an N on the end. So they want me to come in the live flesh and blood now and act as a person in personam, donning on the legal codes for them to fine and forfeit me as and when they feel fit, as much as they wish to. Once you rebut that, that's when you start seeing your remedy. A parent, the pair that rent the property or the asset from the state. We've talked about this with Alfie Evans, I'm not going there anymore. A father and a mother, they would be the informants. What's an informant in the crook world? What's an informant? You're a grasser. Stitches get stitches, what? We have dads and mums. That's what we have. My offspring call me Papa Bear. I'm their #1 Papa Bear. Name. Someone says to me, what's your name? What is a name?
Something your parents give you.
Right, anybody else got another answer? It's a title.
Title.
Because you've just spoken to me. It's a title. If I name you, I've just titled you. My car's got a name, Ford Cortina. I'm called Andy. Family call me Andrew when I'm in trouble. When I'm late. Commonly known as Andy, of the family of, or the clan of, whichever word you wish to use. Mr. and Mrs. Master, Christian name. I have a Christian calling. If you admit to any name, you're in the water. They've tripped you over. You're face down in the water, you can't breathe. They've got you. You name me, no problem. Get your checkbook out. Must or may. Summons is an invitation. Must or may, that's an order or request. So, if you request for me today that I bring you all a drink of water around, and I may well decline, it's going to take me a long time. But if you order me, no problem, I'll bring it round instantly, but it's £1 each. That's how it works. Child, children, offspring, boy or a girl. So, boy or a girl, that is also a legalese word. Did you know that? What are we then? We know what we are. How do you denote what sex we are?
Male or female?
That's a legalese word. How do you do it?
Man, woman.
So that's a legalese word. How do you do it?
Masculine, feminine.
Boom.
Whoa.
Masculine and feminine. We are all mankind. The only thing that differentiates us is masculine and feminine. All the rest is legalese.
Does that include male and female?
Male and female is legalese.
Refers to the sex of an animal.
That's what it is. The monsters. Understand, comprehend and understand. So, many people have come up to me recently and said, Andy, I love how you use the phrase to understand, to comprehend. And there is no better understanding and comprehension once you know, because then you can overstand all of that. And those that are trespassing against you, who are trying to overstand you by making you understand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lawful and legal, remedy, restitution. Remedy and restitution. So, Lado's a little bit mixed up here. Let's clarify this with my verifications. Okay. Remedy. That's Admiralty law. When we go to the courts, initially, we will be seeking remedy or redress. Okay? Now, sometimes, occasionally, when we're seeking these remedies, the man in the cloth will maybe get up and run off. You'll see his back of his neck, and hang on, where's he going? Ain't finished business yet, because he knows that you know the score. But he'll come back on and don a different jacket. Hello, I'm back in the room. He switched the jurisdiction. We're now looking for maintenance and cure. He's gone to maritime law, he ain't told nobody. He's gone from the Admirals and gone to maritime. Gone out of the room, come back in, switched us. And said jack shit, cheeky twat. So when they return back to the room, we say to them instantly, for and on the record, I'm looking for maintenance and cure. That tells them instantly that you recognise the jurisdiction has changed here. They know you know what's going on. Hello, don't matter what suit you got on, don't matter what you're wearing, mate, I know your lies. Okay? Offender and a criminal. So, that's a lovely little thing. Well, is there a thing as a criminal offence? What's a criminal offence?
Someone that's been harmed.
A criminal offence, brother.
The criminal offence is
That's two different jurisdictions right there. Jurisdiction's different. One's a crime, one's an offender.
Right, but there's a
One goes
person.
to jail, one goes to prison. You either commit an offence or you commit a crime. You're either a criminal or you've broken a rule. One of their rules, you're an offender. Offences can be committed by a person. Oh, drop your fag butt on the floor. 80 quid. What? How do they fine you £80? Do you know how they do that? Because you give them a bloody name. If you don't give them a name, how can they charge you with anything? And that all comes back again to the obligation.
But they don't let you know give a name.
Sorry?
The police wouldn't let you know give a name. They would pester you and pester you till you did give a name.
In your belief.
Aye. Scottish police.
Tell him your mammy doesn't let you talk to strangers.
I'm from Scotland.
I've said that. I've said that.
So, as I've told you, it's a calling. You know? It comes back again to the obligation.
Aye.
It's never a policeman that will screw you for dropping your litter on the floor. It's one of these community bobby people.
Aye. Council.
With your cap on and say, hello, who
Council.
are you? You know? Oh, what's your name? Oh, it's Bobby. Oh, lovely Bobby, you owe me 80 quid. What do you mean? Well, rubbish is there. Oh, I'll pick it up. It's too late, isn't it? 80 quid, there you go, pal. Well, I wouldn't have given a name. I don't have a name. If I don't have what I haven't got, how can I give it to you? If I haven't got £1 in my pocket, how can I give it to you?
It's the same as you want to. You
My
want to.
calling is Andy.
Aye.
But I'm not going to tell you as a strange man, you just heard him, you shouldn't talk to strangers. And it comes back to the obligation.
Aye.
Am I obliged to give you my details under the GDPR? That's a nice one, isn't it?
But am I
That's their
obliged
rules,
to?
not ours. Eh? Am
So-
I obliged?
So I'm not obliged to give it
Of
then?
course you're not obliged. I'll bid you good day. Ooh. What? You're going to call the old bill on me? Lovely. Use my phone. I've committed a crime. Carry on. You're in deep water. That's just my how I enact. I don't tell you to what. You do how you wish.
They've actually started using community safety officers instead
Yes.
of like traffic
Yeah.
wardens in
Officer.
Scotland.
Every
Officer.
officer has a capacity. Okay? Now on to it. Is he that officer for free today, or do you think he's getting a salary? He's there to do a job. Compel them to the job that they're salaried to do. Trevor?
I've heard that you can actually countercharge cops that's trying to charge you with advanced fee fraud.
Absolutely. Because they're subrogating your name.
Yeah.
In the first instance, when they pull you over and subjugate you, or bully you, they threaten you with an arrest. Like, hang on, retard. I'm already arrested.
You've already
I'm already stopped.
Yeah, you've already.
I won't have a cardiac arrest in a minute. I'm having it now. What? Forgive them, Lord, they don't know what they're saying. So, a criminal offence, there's no such thing. You're either an offender or a criminal. Officers and constables, they are both as one. They wear the same uniform, they take the same oath. Their oath of allegiance is to the crowns. Yes? The tricolour. The tricolour. Tricolour. Black, white and grey. There's 3 crowns. I'll go into that later on. Officer and constable. Policy enforcer. That's what an officer is. They enforce the rule of law that's been imposed upon persons. They are there to enforce their codes, the statutes, the acts that we are not consentable to because we are not governed. Acts and statutes have the full force of law with the consent of the governed. We've been through that. A constable is there to keep a breach of the peace in the public. They are there to protect your property from criminal damage. That's it. Their job, in accordance to their oath, is to protect the Gentiles or the gentry from us peasantry. That's their job. That's the description. That's it. We would require, if a policy enforcer comes to me to deal with me today for any reason, I would instantly put him on his oath as constable. I know he's not there to do me any good, but maybe I not have called him. Maybe the bailiff might have called him to see to me because I might be a little bit angry looking big lad, want to be able to cope with me on his own. So they'll call a copper to me. I have it all the time. Videos on YouTube, have a look. So when the officer arrives, I instantly put him on his oath as constable to protect the property of which I may be residing. It may not be mine, it may be my friend's. However, in that instance I have the power of attorney and I say what goes. I'm the settler of that land, get out the gate. Notice, licence, bill of exchange. What is a notice? What is a notice? There's notices out in these car parks, you seen them? How are they written? They're written like this, again. They're not for us. Can you notice this notice? I can't see it. It's how we write it, it's our intent, it's what we mean by it. The licence, your TV licence, your rod licence for fishing, your bloody text licence, your TV licence, all this shit. It's all for persons. Again, with consent of the governed. It all comes back to the same thing. Here we go then, the bills of exchange. What is the bill of exchange? Anybody know? Give me a definition please of the bills of exchange.
Currency?
I've told you about it this evening already, how I commerce.
Energy
Paper
transfer.
exchange.
Energy transfer. If somebody passes me a bill today, although I've never had a bill in my life according to the bill of exchange, they'll send me a statement or a Giro credit slip, which I'll endorse. But should I pass a bill over and there is a bill of exchange, let's say for instance they claim I owe them £30, as part of my administration today I also charge them £30. It's taken me 15 minutes of my time today, a couple of stamps and some letter. I'm about to use my favourite pen which I couldn't find, took me 10 minutes to find it in the drawer, the kids had moved it. What? Shit happens in my office, it's busy. That's the bills of exchange. You give me yours, I'll give you mine. That's what we call settlement. From the settlor, we are settled. Yes, I've tendered you. We are tendered. We are tendering the pump. Request or an order? What's a request? That which can be denied. I respectfully deny your request, we've gone through that. An order to be paid for. You want just and fair compensation, you order me, no problem, I'll do it now.
That's what they call it.
Bond, bond cash fraud. What is bond?
What is a bond? We are all bondaged. Banking bond. What's the national insurance number? It's a banking bond. We've all got one. How do you endorse your bills?
Signature.
With the national insurance bond. That's why we're nationally insured for all eventualities. What pays out upon death? Creditor debtor. I, Andrew, creditor, credit my debtor, Mr. Smith. The banks don't show me any consideration. I create my own money with my valuable consideration, which is the sign of nature, the signature. You give your signature, it's for your debtor. They give you nothing. And you better be careful what you give it to. Discharge and endorse. I've just told you what that is. Your there and I number, your thumbprint, and you put your autograph on there. We're acting in private. Okay? Equity, torts, fines, bills, settle. Okay. What is equity?
Fairness.
Equality, fairness. What's good for you is good for me. Resides under its own maxims or rules of law. There's 24 of them. Learn them. Please pick them up and know what they are. Equity shall not suffer you at all at common law level. Fines and forfeitures. Equity abhors forfeiture. That's a maxim. They're all for persons. We're in the private. We have got the correct jurisdiction. We've done bills of exchange, signature and autograph. The signature is valuable consideration, your equitable asset. Without it we get nowhere. No cars, no houses, no nothing. No phones, piss all. It's worth everything. I'll give mine to no man. If I have to sign a piece of paper, that's because you don't trust me. If you don't trust me, get out the gate. That's how I operate. That's how I have no debts. I have no credit cards, no jack shit. So I don't trust them. They want my signature, no thank you. Jurisdiction. The jurisdiction denotes the land, the air, the water. That derived from a jurisprudence, or a theory, or an opinion of law, derived from 300 AD, from the early days of Caesar, personalising every man. Sweat equity. What is sweat equity? Shush.
Energy.
Yeah.
All energy.
Your work.
We call it something. Average man pays his bills with his sweat equity. Right. Offer of contract. What's an offer of a contract? An offer of a contract is a convention with an added obligation. Like I asked you earlier, are we obliged? An oath of allegiance. That's what these have taken. That's what these legalese speakers, these transgressors of the Canaan, that's what they've done. That's what every man of a religion does. Who's religious? Put your hands up. You bunch of buggers.
We're learning.
But you're working very brilliant, I'm telling you. Right.
We're spiritual.
Soulful. We have a soul, you know. This is what it is, isn't it?
A human experience.
So, I was in a maximum penitentiary one year, and they held me in there for months and months and months. And they just fed me on so-long pancakes. That's all they could squeeze under the door. Oath of allegiance, the capacity. Intermeddlers. What's an intermeddler? It's Mr. Word off here, we ain't got enough paper. The word I use, we hear these words on the internet all the time. I've got a third-party interloper at my door. Third-party interloper messing about, poking his nose in. The word is officious intermeddler. Officious intermeddlers. They are which poke their nose into your business and expect reward at the end of it. That's an officious intermeddler. One of my favourite words. What is vexation? Let's not be angry. Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. They're here in a certain capacity today. When was we come along and give them the first-hand knowledge, they have a chance to change that, don't they? They can do what's right and honourable to me, regardless of the job. Lawfully. Request requirements, we've been done through that to perform. I, Andrew, require of you to perform. Okay? So if I've paid for a service, I've given some exchange. Now I require a performance. I wish for you to do what's right and proper. If you have to ask 3 times for that wish to come true, they're in trouble.
I require of you is all it takes. I can make a request to you in the room, because we're brethren, you know, and a request is normally enough. Of course I will, no problem. But these people, they'll tell you to piss off, so we have to require of them. That's how you compel them to the duty. Under duress of necessity. So, if we have to sign any documents and you're not happy with signing it, can you sign it without liability or under duress?
Yes,
How do you do that?
by coactus,
How do you do that?
VC before the sign of nature, or your autograph.
Okay? Meaning, there's two meanings to VC.
It's under duress.
Vico actor, you've just told me it's the right answer, but there's two meanings, that's how you do it. Otherwise, you can put 3 dots before, you call in 3 dots after. Nothing before, nothing after. Done the perform, under duress, VC, 3 dots before there or after. That's how you do that. Chicanery, or azat, as I call it, R-S-A-T-Z, showed the man earlier. Azat, which is like plastic or phony. If I put azats in the document, they know. Casuistry, that's the same. Another word I put on there yesterday. Very nice, isn't it? I love the lingo, it's coming out, mate, I tell you. Schedule of fees. I've always got a schedule of fees. If I'm coming to cut your grass tomorrow, it's going to cost you a £5. If I like you, I might do it charitable. The terms and conditions are your terms and conditions, not theirs. You only have to accept their terms and conditions if it benefits you. If you don't like them, no thank you. Here's my terms and conditions. If you don't like them, bugger off. I've already got windows, don't need any more, thank you. Honour and clean hands. We are honour and duty bound to each other under the covenant of which we are created. We have no honour to a corporation, nor are we obligated. Clean hands. We have to have clean hands to operate in equity. He who seeks equity must do equity. That's a maxim of equity. Please go and look at them. Militant ward combatant. Now, when man is born, we are born into a ward in a medical institution or an institute. It's a militant combatant run organisation. Everything is military. You're either a civilian or you're in the military. That's it. That's how they see us. Got to get some more nerves. When you are born, none of these things apply to you. The moment our parents inform upon us, grass us up to the state, we are then upon that birthing registration, the registration of the event a fortnight ago, militant combatant, wards of the state, because we've registered to say so. When you register, it's to register is to give. When you submit your paperwork in that wrestling move, you all have a submission, and so you're begging to give. What a bunch of wallies. That's how they've got us thinking. Think it's right and proper. Disgusting, isn't it? Militant ward combatant. Well, I asked you last night, anybody in here that's a voter, who votes for Trump? Who votes for anybody in their constituent? These people, you do. These people represent electorate, yes? Electorate being area or land, nothing to do with the man or woman. So when you're writing to these individuals for redress or anything like that, you're getting none, are you? Because they're not for you, they're only for your area. To register your vote is to vote. You're casting your vote there and then, that's it. That's why they threaten you with fine and forfeiture if you don't. The red and blue box is a sense of democracy aboard the dictatorship. You've already cast your vote. Stop being so silly. That's how they get you. Nothing personal to anybody in here. Gloss of capitalisation, which is throughout every one of these pieces of paper. Capital letter, swamping the land with water, flooding us out. That's glossa. That's a language which is in the Chicago styles. It's not in my English comprehensive dictionary. So there's a mix up here of jurisdiction and languages. So I can't see nor comprehend what it means. How can I be instructed or compelled by anything that this says?
Does it lead to glossary?
Pardon?
Glossary.
A glossary. A glossator will create anything that is glossa.
Oh.
That is their job. Capitalisation. It's not our lingo. It's not for man. That's for persons. Laws of the water. Pacts, agreements, contracts, reality. So re is to do again. Anything of that is to repeat. Pacts, that's what we have privately. Pacts, with a legal term, is an agreement. One further than that to the contract is past the pacts, past the conventions, with an added obligation, you now have a contract. Reality. But I would spell this R-E-E-L, real. That's real, Allah. That's their word. Convey, construct, deconstruct. Anything with con in the word. You know? The consequences have been here this week. I'm giving you the sequences after the con. The settlor, the beneficiary. I, settlor, Andrew, I'm here for the beneficiary. My beneficiary is in my pocket. The person is there at all times. That is the relationship within that trust. The beneficiary, I the settlor or grantor, I'm the sole proprietor of that trust. Nobody else, only I. I say what comes and goes. So I, the settlor, I'm here for the beneficiary, which only leaves one relationship option open left in the trust relationship, and that would be for a trustee. And it is the job of the trustee, do you all know what it is? To do what's right and proper by the trust. Yes?
Yes.
If I put this computer into trust today, it's called a res. If I put this res into trust today, for the benefit of Trevor, with Gobsmack as the trustee, he must always be there for this item, this res, for Trevor to benefit from. It must always be fully charged, it must always be up to date and have the latest Wi-Fi technology. That'll be a part of our pact. Yes? And we've all met that in agreement. Should he fail, Trevor? Should this battery be flat when he comes to fetch it one day, or he's taking it somewhere else, let his other friends borrow it? Is suffering my man at all? If my man tells him to put that right and doesn't, he is then to come to me. And then I'll drag his arse across the coals. And this is what we're doing here in corporation. Me as settlor for the beneficiary and compelling him to do what he's got to do for this. That's what's happening here. Because he's let you down. So what's really happening, the court has let me down through my beneficiary. Because he's subrogated me, he's impersonated me. He thinks he's the beneficiary and I'm the trustee.
Yeah.
Silly sausage. Any con, I don't use words with con. Citizen, person. Citizen is an occupant, an occupier. A person is the same. In personam, I've spoke about that. When we turn up in the flesh and in the blood. That's in persona. But we're not acting the persona. I, flesh and blood man, Andrew, in persona, is deadly. You don't want to be messing about with that. Member of the public, we've already talked about that. General. Full commercial and professional liability. Commercial and professional. So another word there, beautiful, professional. Who has an occupation? What's your occupation? So you put your hand up. Will you pack that in tonight?
You're not like my occupation.
We are all proficient in that which we do. I, professional steering wheel attendant, in that capacity. But that's about it. In the commercial terms, I'm liable for that capacity. Should anything drop off my lorry and kill anybody, I'm liable. I've taken on that role. Same as everybody else in the commercial capacities have taken on their roles, that's my role. So therefore, in that commercial capacity, professionally, I'm liable. Because I've stepped up and said yes. So, in my private capacity as Andrew, if I didn't want to act commercially, but they seem to think I have an obligation here and whatnot, and they wanted me to sign something without that liability, we've just gone over it. We would VC that. Well, 3 dots before, 3 dots after. That removes then my public liability. Simple as that. Right. What is a person? We've been that. A person is a fictional entity created at the time of your birth. The time of your birth is probably a lot later than the time you was born. I was born the 30th of the 3rd, it's my birthday next Saturday, they say. I say, no, I was born on that day. My birthday is the 8th of April. All my growing up life, I've been in trouble and things like this, I've been to jail, I've done these things. Every time they speak to me and they say to me, what's your date of birth, Andrew? I would say to them, the 30th of the 3rd. What a pret. My birthday is the 8th of April. This is how they're gaining joinder with you. This is how they're committing personage and barratry against us. Because we don't know when we were birthed, or when we were born, or if there's even a difference. Is there a difference?
Yes.
Of your birth, forward that only exists on pieces of paper, a 2D dead entity. I already produced one, I've showed it to you. Clearly states on the bottom, this is not evidence of identity. Big word says warning. It's all written in uppercase as well, so you can see it's a part of them. Your person is an estate trust, created with your name in all capital letters, dogma, and it's used to enslave you to the mercantile corporate domain, mercantile law. We spoke about that, that's maintenance and cure. Yes, it's above the admirals. Corporate domain of commerce under maritime admiralty law. This is all for the water, for persons. Nothing to do with man, with trade, and doing what we're doing privately. Commercial is out there in the public. Trading is what we do at home. You come to my home and I might give you something privately and you give me £1 for it. What's it going to do with anybody else outside? We've made a trade. We've levied and bartered. We're levied. We're level. I'm level with you, level with me. Everyone's happy. Who wants 20% of that? Who's entitled to 20% of that? Anybody?
No one.
Nobody. Am I obliged?
No.
You better believe it. If you accept this situation and willfully agree to represent, what a word again, to do again. I can't represent myself, can I? I've only got the now. I can only present myself in the now. That's why we're gifted. We're gifts to each other in the present. We're all presents. We haven't got tomorrow or yesterday. Imaginations and memories. This fictional person in court or any correspondence with your capitalised name, you are consenting to you and your assets being bought and sold on the stock exchanges of the world as chattel, set adrift and floating on the high seas of commerce. That's what they do. They float us on the market. Well, let's go to market. You're already on the blood market. We're all floating on the seas of commerce. We are the current sea. The current sea which they are holding with the banks. We are floating on, ebbing and flowing, as chattel, as cargo, as persons, up until we come to the age of maturity and tell them who we are and who they are. The 24 assumptions and presumptions of the common law, admiralty rule, will be imposed upon you until you come to the age of maturity and say, no, thank you. Does this seem right? Do you want to know how to right your ship and correct this situation? Your partnership, your business ship, everything's a ship. You know? I'm not aboard a ship. Are you aboard? No, thank you. We're on the night train. This is distraction. We're losing traction on the thought track. Yes, what train are you on? Are you on track? Are you on water?
That's like a contract, is it? You conjure on the wrong track.
You've got it, brother. Equity is equality. The use of the principles. This is what's going on here. Principles. I love that word. The principalities. The principalities of man. This is where written law, this very day, derives from this one word. The principalities of man. It's now been codified and turned into a jurisprudence and a jurisdiction of law that is written against us through principalities and what we think is right and proper to us. They have seen this as a profitable margin. To supplement the systems of law,
so far developed in order to bring about fairness. This, in actual fact, equity is what I speak of, it's what I advocate, it's what I tell you that you'll get your maintenance and your cure from, not the remedy. However, this was also made up by the Romans. It's all their system. That's why it works against them, because they made it up, not me. They did. All I can do is reiterate it to them, reverberate what they've written. It's not my fault they've done it as they have, is it? Equity is equality. It has its own maxims. The doctrine of the legal system is the complete antithesis of equity. That's because legal, or legal, as we know it, is the undoing of God's law. God has his own maxims, his own doctrine, his own statute. Read the KJV. God has his own statute. This is where acts and statutes come from the government that we created. Cheeky buggers, aren't they? When evoking equity, what a lovely word. What is it to evoke?
Manifest.
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 Where?
Create,
In general. In the room. We are evoking equity all around us. I invoke equity before I get there to evoke it. All is inward. Okay? Evocation is around us. Equity as a maxim of law, all agreements and contracts must be deemed by all parties to be fair, just, right and proper. We must meet eye to eye, mind must meet mind. Otherwise, how can we have just and fair and proper consideration on both sides of the pact? Everything is consideration. Performance and exchange. A contract is only legally binding when it contains two wetting signatures of both parties, notarised and witnessed appropriately. That also comes into the bills of exchange. If we are to receive a proper, true bill, according to the bills of exchange, it must have two wetting signatures from them. Not one of mine and one of his, two of theirs. Has anybody here ever had a bill?
How do you mean two of those?
Two wet signatures, the CEOs and the one under them. That's a proper bill accordance. Read the bills of exchange, it will tell you. Any document not containing two signatures in the correct format is not a contract and can be referred to as simply an initial agreement, and in most cases can be regarded as non-legally binding. What's legal and what's lawful, we all know are different. A pact or a tacit agreement. Do we know what a tacit agreement is?
It's agreeing without consent.
No.
It's keeping quiet.
Without
Being spoken. Not saying no.
No.
Pre-agreement.
A tacit agreement, if, let's run a quick example. I've done this with my brother Gobsmack. I'm going to use my brother Gobsmack again, sorry for this. My brother Gobsmack has agreed to come to my humble abode tomorrow and do all my cleaning for me, for which I'm going to give him 2 bottles of whiskey. Yes! So I'll return home from my day out tomorrow and I'll find out that he hasn't washed my pants and my socks. He's let me down a little bit, you know what I mean? Broken the pact, broken the agreement. Okay? So I only decided to give him now 1 bottle of whiskey. And he'll say, hang on a minute, you agreed with me, Andy, too. I said, yeah, but you haven't washed my pants and my socks, though, Gobby. He said, yeah, but you didn't tell me. I said, you didn't ask. You've tacitly agreed to that tort. And that's what they're doing to us. I said, well, hang on, you've suffered me that tort through that tacit agreement. You didn't ask. What a twat. Didn't I read the small print? What? This is how they're getting us. Through tacit agreement. A tacit agreement is an agreement where full disclosure isn't given. I'll just give a rough outline to Gobby what I expect of him, but not everything. Because I know he's simple. I know I'd get away with 1 bottle of whiskey. You know? That's what's going on in the realm. Cheeky buggers. Right then. Restitution, remedy and cure. What's restitution?
Putting something right.
Restoration. Restitution is an older word for restoration. Remedy and cure and maintenance.
There's a split here in the jurisdictions of law. I spoke about it up the front. Initially, we're going for remedy. That's Admiralty law. Maintenance is cure. Maritime law, Admiralty law. Restitution. It's an older word for the restoration. For mums and dads that don't have their property and assets with them at the moment, restitution is extremely important. I require immediate restoration of my property. That's all as it is. The restitution, to bring back to life, to bring back to the former state of how it was. I require that now. That's it. Instant restitution. Restoration of property. All of our kindred spirits are our offsprings. Property, assets. My daughter WhatsApped me last night. I was speaking in the bar. I can't remember who was with me. Everyone's been with me. I love everybody, right? And there was a couple of women with me. She is beautiful.
Yeah.
What an asset to you. You better believe it.
Not replaceable.
My asset, proper to me. They regard them as property and asset. What an asset to you. You better believe it. Exclusive for me in this society, my property, proper to me, like I am to her. I'm only her dad, not yours or anybody else's. We're exclusive, proper to me. Restitution, remedy and cure. I've told you, remedy is the first instance, cure and maintenance is the second. Maritime and Admiralty. Correct application of the law to create an order. And like it's put there, you won't see how there may be. An obligation. An order carries an obligation. If the court orders you to appear, that's what you do. Put your bill in, lovely. Could do with a bit of dinner this afternoon, lovely. To compel the return of stolen goods, that's what restitution is. If the state have stolen your property and your assets, we require immediate restitution or restoration of property.
What court would that go through?
Family court.
Restitution.
Family courts. For your
Not
children.
the chancery.
Family courts.
Okay.
Wherever your children reside, that goes to the local family court.
Well, what about for you personally?
Personally or privately.
Privately?
What about that?
If you wanted restitution for
Of
your
what?
own birthright?
Birthright.
Yeah.
Not something I want. But
Or born right?
we all have rights under being born. We have inalienable born rights,
Yeah.
which we can express at any given time. If you can express it by verification, should you need to clarify it, you can do. Because if you can say it, you've spelt it already. You've cast your spelling. Every word is a spelling. So if you can spell that verbally, you can spell it on paper too. That's the expression. How do I express anything? How do I express myself? With words from the heart. That's all I've got. Their expression is against ours. Love kills all fire. Doubts all fire. Can't survive. Take the oxygen away from me. Cure and maintenance. Spoke about that. Civil or criminal, at law. Are we in law or are we at law? We're at law. We can't be in the law. We're not in the hotel, we're at the hotel. We can't be in it, can we? We are at the hotel. We are at court. Small words mean everything. Maintenance is the furnishing by one person to another for his or her support of means of living, or food, or clothing, shelter, etc. Cure is care, including nursing and medical attention required for a person to return to or continue their duties. Under equity, we are all due cure and maintenance under the eyes of our Creator. We have to stand up and take it. You're not going to send us a letter and say, there you go, there's all the tax you've paid in, there's everything we owe you, there's everything that took the piss out of you for, there it is. We have to take it back ourselves. We've all been schooled, we've all been indoctrinated. The private kids know how to do this. They're educated. They know about equity and trust. We've been indoctrinated in school to sweep up after them. Real dented. That's the fact of the matter. It's the truth here. It's all in the language, in the lingo. They've bastardised it, look. He's gone and done it as well, look. We think it's right and proper. Step up and be it. Don't mistake an idiot for a fool. I'm a legal idiot, no fool. I wish us all to be the same. We're all equal. What I've put in, every man here can put in the same. It took me 3 years. I went to bed with the Bible and took a dictionary with me. I didn't understand any of the words. Look at the dictionary. Any words need in there. Oh, go forever. Oh, look at that. It means that. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, it means that. Bible's gone away for 3/4 now, any words, huh? And it'll say to me, you talk differently, you better believe it. Huh? My words are sharp. Everyone's words are sharp. How do you apply yourself? How bad do you want this? How bad do you want it? I can't give it you. I'm not going to give you a template. There's no such thing. What's instilled in me is done by a woman, my nan. So I'm speaking with her voice now to install it into you. I can't do it for you. I can do it with you. We can be together with this. You know, you can't do mine for me, nor would I expect you. Your comprehension might be different to mine. You know, you might foul up. Slave talk. What is your name? I've already told you this. A name is an entitlement. If I entitle you with anything, you want just and fair compensation. Simple as that. No messing about. Business and pleasure. Don't mix the two. Don't take it personal. What's a child? Parent, mother, father, child. I've said all this. A kid is from a goat. A parent, the assets and property from. Mother and father, legalese words. We are mums and dads, masculine and feminine. A child is property of corporation. Go look at it. I have no children. I don't like the word children's crusade. It's not my gig, I can't do anything. It's a person. Persons are a fictional corporate entity, bought and sold as chattel. Cargo, we're all cargo. Under maritime admiralty law, laws of the seas, in the mercantile corporate domain, dead entity, yes. Human, what's human? What is hue?
The hue of man, the colour of
Colour.
man.
So the colour of man shall get dealt with the colour of law. If I go in there claiming I want my human rights, what am I going to get? You better believe it. I'm going to get shit on left, right and centre. I'm a monster. Human is monster, the colour of law. I'm trying to make it quick. It's not a woman, only the colour of man. Citizen. An oath-swearing member of a society, the law society, who submits themselves to rules of conduct under the government. Acts and statutes have the full force of law, with consent of the governed. Are you governed or you're under a covenant?
Covenant.
We're under a covenant. God's statute. Member of the public is one of the persons constituting a group within the state, that being a fixed territory where people are bound by laws and organised by government and tax. I'm a settler of a settlement. These things are all legal words. I pay no man no tax. No man shall take away what my hands have created. They shall not starve my offspring, because they think they want some. Prove to me. A tenant of the land. They have ancient rights as tenants. They come back to what we know as the praetor. A praetor would hold the land tenure of a tenant within his right until the said tenant had completed military service. Upon the completion of the military service, the praetor or the priest or the militia would give it you back upon your service completion. That's how it is. That's why we are now the land tenure. We are fee simple. We are of the land. But what we've done through acquiescence, cognitive dissonance, is give our land to the land registry. What is it to register?
Give away.
So we've given it all to the land registry. Who owns the land registry? Have you looked at it? Have you looked on Duns and Bradstreet? The BAR.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
Where's the BAR registered at? Duns and Bradstreet, a religious organisation. How bizarre. Does that seem right and proper to you?
No.
I think not. But don't take my word for it. Have a look. It's all religion. That's why I don't advocate religion, to do again. A legion to another man. The house no estate or title, but only naked possession. That's what I would call legal title. Every Bible has title. Every birth certificate has title. They are split titles. Mr. Smith, Lord God. It's all there in our faces, we're just not seeing it. Everything is split title. If you're in possession of the legal title, that places you as the trustee in the relationship of that. You are then duty and honour bound to pay all fines and forfeitures coming to that. That's what the trustees do. What I behold here is equitable interest. Any legal title is not for me. I legally own nothing. I benefit from everything. That's how we roll with it. The landlord, or the lord of the land, is wrote it in, look, spelt it wrong. Praetor. P-R-A-Y-A-T-O-R. It's P-R-A-E-T-O-R, the praetor. And it's not entitled to notice to quit, and it is a bare licence to whom the landlord owes merely duty, not want only, nor willingly to injure him or her. Birth, militant, ward, combatant. A tenant and a mortgagee. Who has more rights?
Tenant.
A tenant will outstrip a mortgagee every day. They'll take your house off you as quick as you like. 3 payments, it's gone, foreclosure. A tenant can probably miss 6 months worth of payments and pull it back. You know? They have rights. The mortgagee, the bankers are stripping you. Free speak or free beak. How are you called? What's your Christian calling? Are you Christian? All your persons are Roman Catholic. I don't care if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Muslim, or what the hell you are. Everybody's Roman Catholic. Every person, every body. Did you hear that? Every corporate body. I don't mean every individual, as I'd say that. I'm glad you're all hearing me now. It's time to pick this up. Free man, free woman. Put your hand up if you're a free man or a free woman. What a fool, what a fool.
No.
What a fool. What? How are you a free man? Prove that to me.
We to come and go as we please.
You have free will.
Free will, yeah.
That's it, free will. You're not a free man.
I thought
You're
that's what
obliged to
you
me.
meant.
I'm obliged to you. You're obliged to field. Likewise. Does that make you a free man?
No.
Don't mistake an idiot for a fool.
It's okay.
Set law beneficiary of my estate.
Okay.
I set the law. My person is the beneficiary. I, Andrew, am born unto the land for remedy and the benefit of my person. You get that, don't you? I bring my person into the seas of commerce when it benefits me. Not when they impose upon me and make me under subjugation. That's when the bill goes in. Dwellers on the land, where they dwelt. How many times we read that in the Bible? We are all dwelt upon the land. We are of the dust. We are made born upon the dust and we return back to it. Executor of the shared estate. The executor. The executor. We are all executors of our own estate. We can cut dead anything we wish. We have dominion. Kings and queens of our domain. I stand here today as king. The questions, I expect you to do the same in my reflection. We are all kings of our domain, we have our queens. A creator or a grantor, we all create every day with our hands. Inward manifestation outwardly attracts. We have the mind, we put the form into substance and then we create. A grantor is a giver. If I grant something to you, I've given it to you. We are patricians. What is a patrician? Anybody know?
brilliant, isn't it?
Patron?
A patrician.
No.
A patrician is what I am. He's obviously put this on later on here, James.
Sure.
A patrician is a nobleman.
It was a rank in the Roman army, wasn't it?
It's a nobleman, patrician. That's what I am, just a nobleman of the land. I told that Catholic priest that when I went to Liverpool. The man was most shocked. I said, I'm a patrician here in the eyes of the Creator. Whom are you and who is your gaffer, my son? Of the land, of this earth, born free, live free, be free. Will is Mr. Word.
All right.
None of us are free from each other. We are all duty and honour bound to one another, mankind, brethren. This is where the trouble is. We think we are separate. All trying to beat one another, get a faster car and a bigger TV. What on earth's going on? We're not free. We're not free from one another. We are obligated to one another, honour and duty bound, under the covenant. The sooner I can get this message across, that we are not free from one another, the happier we are going to be. I'm very passionate tonight. The whole thing pisses me off, and I hope I've learned you something.
And he came back because you were obligated.